We'd like to thank you for coming out today. This is a very great moment for our area. Our Congressman from the 7th District has come up. We've been in a meeting with about 20 industry executives from space and aeronautic industry, and we've been talking to them about the future of the space program. We have specifically said this is not a partisan effort. We, as a Huntsvillians and Americans, are leading an effort that is not partisan, but it's an effort of Americans who are trying to say that America will be second to none, and America will have a space program that is truly great, that is one that will lead us into the future and make sure that our country stays number one. And I'd like to turn it over this time to our Congressman from the 7th District, our friend who was always there when we've gone up to Washington to visit him, Artur Davis.
Mayor, thank you. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much. Mayor, thank you for welcoming me. I'm a little bit out of district, but I'm here for an important purpose today. I happen to believe that John Kennedy got it right in the early 1960s when he said that the United States needed to believe in and invest in the concept of manned space travel. And when John F. Kennedy said at Rice University in Houston, Texas in 1962 that we'll go to the moon in this decade, most Americans, even Americans who rooted for the president and shared his political vision, thought he was exaggerating. They didn't think that America had the capacity, that America had the staying power to make that trip in such a short order. When we made it to the moon, it changed the way we think about ourselves in this country. And as we move through the next 3 decades of manned space travel, as we cross the psychological barrier of human beings leaving this earth and going into the cosmos, it changed the way we think about this country. So a number of us were disappointed when we learned in the budget that was announced just last week that the United States is in danger of taking a major step backwards. We're in danger of walking away from a national government-backed commitment to manned space travel. These are the consequences of that decision if it were allowed to continue. The first one is that our leadership in space, we'd be voluntarily walking away from it. We'd be voluntarily sacrificing the unquestioned #1 status that we've had in space. We'd be doing to ourselves what our enemies have not been able to do to us. The second consequence is that if we were to privatize wholesale manned space travel, it would be in all likelihood another decade to 15 years before a private sector backed initiative would come anywhere near the quality of what the U.S. government NASA-backed program has done. Third of all, and perhaps most importantly, there's a group of young men and women right now who are scientists and engineers who are making decisions about where they want to put their ingenuity. They're looking at the domain of space and space travel. But they're smart enough to read what's going on in Washington. They know the tea leaves, and they know that there's a very real danger that the United States will walk away from a 4-decade-long commitment. You know what they will do? They will take their talent and their ingenuity, and they will put it someplace other than space. Those young men and women, some of them are at high school right now in Huntsville, Alabama. Some of them are dreaming right now of their future in space. If we walk away, we will deprive ourselves of a group of young geniuses whom we need to engage the domain of space. So I'm here today with the mayor to say that as one congressman, I will be working very closely with Democrats and Republicans to fix this problem in the president's budget. I'll be working to save the Constellation program, to shore up the Constellation program, to allow us to resume and to pick up and carry on with the vital mission of manned space travel. Final point, there is an economic consequence here. While this is about the national imagination, it's about our leading edge in technology, there are thousands of jobs in this community that could be impacted. As one of our contractors told us this morning, work orders are already slowing down. Inventories are already grinding to a halt because of the uncertainty over the future of humans in space. Put in plain English, Huntsville's already losing jobs because of what's going on. I want to send a clear signal today to the men and women who work at Marshall, the men and women whose families are dependent on space, that I am going to be advocating for their interests, and many Democrats and Republicans are going to be standing with us. Because this can't turn into another Washington food fight between Democrats and Republicans. It can't turn into another battle between the Obama administration and the Bush administration. It can't turn into another fight over political legacies. We have to find a way to say, President Kennedy made a commitment 4 decades ago. It is still powerful, it is still vibrant, and this generation of Americans needs to honor it.